welcome to my channel. This is a channel about living abroad, learning English, and living the life to the fullest. So many of you guys keep asking me why and how I moved to Canada. So today I finally decided to sit and just tell you my story. Besides, today is my third year anniversary of living here in Canada. So this day is kind of near and dear to my heart. So I finally decided to sit and just share my story with you guys. I came to Canada as an ESL student, and honestly, I didn't need necessarily to take this course. I just took it because it was probably the easiest and one of the cheapest way to come to Canada. So the moment I stepped out of Toronto airport, air just hurted my face so badly. That moment, it became obvious for me that I couldn't call my winter jacket anymore. It was freezing cold. So that was how my Canadian journey had started. My boyfriend came to Canada a few months earlier, so it was quite convenient. But still, this first month in Canada, they were quite challenging for us. I mean, we had no friends, we had no family, we had no money, and our first apartment, I mean, it was terrible. It basically was a basement suite and it had no windows at all. So you never knew whether it's night or day because, well, it didn't have any windows. But I'm not telling you that to scare you out. I'm just telling you so you know that at the end of the journey, it's all worth it. Since I was English second language student, I couldn't work officially here in Canada. So I had to take lots and lots of jobs, of cash jobs. And by lots, guys, I mean like billion different jobs. I worked as a babysitter, I helped in restaurants, I worked as an office assistant. But the job I will always remember will probably gonna be my very first job in Canada. So I worked as a sandwich artist in Subway. So for those of you who don't know, Subway is a chain of fast food sandwich restaurants. It was just like a terrible atmosphere to work in, especially after having a really good job in Kiev. But you know what? This job taught me that if at some point of your life you have to do this job, make sure to do it at your best. And that's pretty much what I did. I became so good in making those sandwiches that people literally were leaving me tips. And I mean, barely anyone leaves tips in fast food restaurants. So after graduating, Andrew has found a decent job and everything started to work out for us. We managed to save up some money and we moved out from our basement apartment to a tiny apartment close to downtown Toronto. And after living in an apartment with no windows at all, our new apartment felt like a blessing. We had this huge window and the views from there were just amazing. So we lived on a 26th floor and from our window we saw the downtown Toronto, the CN Tower and the Lake Ontario. I mean, honestly, it felt like a blessing. So I started studying at Seneca College, which is one of the best and biggest colleges in all Canada. And also I found a job on campus. First part of the day I studied and the second part of the day I worked at the same building. It was awesome. So I worked as a student services representative and it was an awesome job, especially after having lots and lots of different cash jobs. This one felt really good. So another cool thing about studying in Canadian college. So in Canada, if you are a student of particular colleges and particular programs, after graduating from your program, you can get a work visa for a duration of your program. So basically, okay, it might sound a bit confusing, but my program was 1 year. So I got the study permit for 1 year. And after graduating, I get another year of work visa to get the work experience in Canada. So I will always remember my graduation day. I mean, for most of my Canadian classmates, this diploma was just like another achievement, was just like another piece of framed paper on the wall. For me, it was something so much bigger because I mean, I worked really, really hard to come to Canada. I studied really hard to get this diploma. So I felt really accomplished that day. I remember that all my friends and family back in Ukraine was watching my convocation ceremony. And yeah, and I was waiting in line to be called on stage to get my diploma, but the guy who was reading the grads' names, he mispronounced my last name. So my last name is Gnatyuk, and he pronounced it as Natek or something. So I almost missed my turn. But I mean, I figured out that it's like my last name. So I went on the stage, I got this diploma, I was super happy. And like right after the convocation, that same day, I received a call from an employer that I had an interview a few days before. And they told me that I got hired. And I got hired to the HR department of one of the biggest companies in Canada and one of the top companies in Canada. So the name of the company is Bell. And for those of you who are not from Canada, Bell is like one of the best companies in Canada to work for. It's a telecommunication company. So since then, everything started to work out for us. I worked in a fancy headquarter office of one of the top Canadian companies. Andre had a good job too. We started to travel more. And like in general, we started to enjoy life more. 6 months later, my husband received a job offer in Western Canada. And this was literally the job of his dream. So we kind of had two options, whether stay on our jobs in Toronto or moved to like completely different part of Canada and like experience something different. So we decided to move. I mean, life is short and you should try everything. And we packed all our stuff in our tiny Volkswagen Jetta and we moved all the way from Toronto to Kelowna. It took us almost 6 days because I mean, it's a long way. It's over 4,000 kilometers actually. So it took us 6 days. But I think it was an experience of a lifetime, guys. We saw these grand, iconic Canadian mountains with the glaciers and falls, and we saw Canadian prairies and waterfalls and these huge lakes. I think that in 1 week we experienced more Canada than most Canadians do in a lifetime. So last year we started our new life in Kelowna, British Columbia. And I must say, this is probably the best place I've ever lived in. And lifestyle here in British Columbia is very different from, let's say, Toronto or Quebec. I mean, Toronto is all about business, hard work, about like making money. British Columbia is different. People here, I feel like they enjoy life more. They are more like laid back. They are more outdoorsy. And this is what I love about living here. Lots has changed since we moved to Kelowna. We started our new careers. We got married, we bought our first house, we traveled a lot, and honestly guys, I feel like this is a place where I have to be at this point of my life. I'm really, really glad that we moved to Kelowna. So this is my Canadian story. I came to Canada 3 years ago, having like very little, and now pretty much I have everything I need. I'm really happy where I am now, and I honestly think that moving to Canada was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It wasn't easy at all. Sometimes it was quite a roller coaster, but I mean, it definitely made me like a stronger person, and honestly it made me just like a better version of myself. Well, my story is just another proof that you don't have to be rich or super smart or like some kind of like an outstanding person to move to Canada and to start your new life here. It may sound cheesy, but sometimes it's all about staying positive. Because as I said, our Canadian journey was quite a roller coaster. But at the end of the road, I see that it's all worth it. So guys, if you want to move to Canada or any other new country, or if you just want to start your life from scratch, do it. Like, be brave, be hardworking, like, keep smiling and just do it, because it's better to regret about something that you have done than about something that you haven't. Guys, huge thank you for watching this video. It was important for me to share my story with someone, and I hope that I inspired some of you. And I hope that you found the answers to your questions. I plan to post one video every week now, so make sure to subscribe, like, and comment this video. And thank you again for watching it. I love you all. Bye guys.